Hello and welcome. So since the final season of Insecure starts on the 24th of October, I thought I'd do a recap of season 4 because it feels like it's been a minute. I might do weekly recaps of season 5 if I have the time, we'll see. Anyway, onto the recap. So season 4 is the build-up to Issa's block party, and we start 4 months prior to the party. Molly comes over for self-care Sunday and the women do some yoga and hang out. By the way, Condola, who is in this partnership with Issa to put on the block party, is dating Lawrence. Issa and Condola are kind of becoming good friends, but Issa doesn't find out until later in the first episode that Condola is dating Lawrence, which we'll see is going to cause a bit of awkwardness this season. Issa is dating a TSA agent currently. He brings her confiscated alcohol and their interactions are actually really funny, but it's mostly just a friends with benefits situation. It's nothing serious. Andrew and Molly are still dating and this is going to be a rocky road. They're in the car at one point and he tells her that he's still seeing other people. Molly tries to act chill and tells him that she's also dating other people, but you can see that she's really hurt by this. So Issa hosts a mixer in order to talk to the sponsors and get them to invest in her block party, which will highlight and celebrate local black talent. Things between Issa and Molly are testy and very passive aggressive. Molly thinks it's a bad idea for Issa to be so cozy with Lawrence's current girlfriend. She says that Issa likes the drama of it. Well, I don't think that's Issa's main motivation. I mean, suddenly ruining a work relationship with Condola would be very silly. I do think that Issa doesn't mind the possibility that this might bring her in proximity to Lawrence. I don't think she's doing it consciously though, or, with any malicious intent. Anyway, when Molly tries to talk to Issa about her own issues, Issa just pivots to herself because she has chronic main character syndrome in this friendship, at least this season anyway. Anyway, this means that Molly doesn't really have anyone to talk to, which becomes also a bit of a theme this season. In episode 2, Issa and Condola agree to be fine. Sure, it's weird, but they won't sabotage their work relationship over it. Issa also kind of ropes Condola into her friendship with Molly a bit, so again, when Molly wants to spend some quality time with Issa, she can't really. Molly tries to have a quiet night with Andrew, and it doesn't go quite well. So they've been dating non-exclusively for about 2 or 3 months now, and it sometimes looks like a friends with benefits situation, sometimes a bit more. They go on actual dates, but he doesn't really seem very interested in activities that don't involve being in the bedroom or being out socially. So for example, he'll be fine to go out for dinner, but when Molly wants to invite him over for dinner and cook for him and spend time indoors, you can tell that he's not exactly thrilled. He comes by anyway, and you can tell that Molly is more into this setup. Later, they get to talking, and in an effort to get to know him better, Molly starts asking questions about his family, and he shuts down. He tells Molly that he can't, and he leaves for a concert. Molly tries to call Issa, but she's also out partying and can't take her call. The next day, while Molly and Issa are out on a hike, Andrew calls Molly and apologizes. He tells her that it's difficult for him to open up. Issa also tells Molly that she's broken up with her TSA guy. In episode 3, we're 2 months away from the block party. Issa and Molly are out shopping and their vibe is really stressing me out. What is up with these friendships where people just don't really talk to each other? Issa is also really dismissive and mean to Molly. When Molly asks if she should invite Andrew to Thanksgiving, Issa comments that she shouldn't because she'll just scare him away like she usually does with men. That's uncalled for, Issa, come on. They acknowledge that they've been off for a while and they promise to talk on Thanksgiving, but of course Issa blows Molly off. Issa does have a cute Thanksgiving dinner with her brother. The food, the cocktails look so good. She tells her brother that, of course, it does kind of bother her that when she was with Lawrence for 5 years, she got the guy who had potential but couldn't pay for things, couldn't get a job, and she was so patient through all of that. Now, Condola gets to be with the Lawrence who's made it. I suppose it's pretty understandable. Issa isn't bitter or anything. She isn't preoccupied with Lawrence. She just acknowledges it, and it actually made me think back on those years with Lawrence. Those were some really tough years. Meanwhile, Lawrence and Condola are having a tough conversation as well about the fact that she might just be passing the time with him and it won't lead to more. We're not really sure. She mentions at the party not wanting to have a family, and she admits that she's jealous of Lawrence's inside jokes with Issa. They have a weird vibe. I have a feeling that Lawrence is invested because that's just who he is. He's the good, dependable guy, and he's obviously attracted to her. But yeah, now that Issa is kind of around again, I'm sensing something. Even though I don't think Lawrence is ready to acknowledge it. I don't think he even really realizes it himself yet. At the end of the episode, Lawrence is scrolling through everyone's social media, and he stops at Issa's, and he sends her an emoji or something. Look at the smile on his face. That look is trouble, and I'm so into it. In episode 4, Andrew comes over, but Molly still has some work to do. At one point, she tries to tell him about this really tricky case that she's been working on, but he's not interested in hearing it. Ugh, this guy. The women are all at Tiffany's house to see her baby, and Lawrence is there as well because he's friends with Derek. Lawrence has no business looking this good, by the way. Oh my goodness. He says that he wants to talk to Issa about something, but a work crisis comes up and Issa has to go. The work crisis is that Issa's headlining act has pulled out. Issa calls Molly to ask her to ask Andrew to find her a replacement headliner. He works at Live Nation after all. Ugh, the way Issa asks here is so shady. It's like she expects Molly to just do it, and she asks in what is meant to be a cutesy voice. She's not sincere here at all. It's not surprising to me that at the end of the episode, Molly tells Issa that no, she won't ask Andrew for a favor. And I don't blame her. I love Issa, but she reminds me a little bit of an adult version of Devi, who I love as well, from Never Have I Ever. Sometimes they just need some tough love from the people that they love because they can be pretty wrapped up in themselves and unintentionally hurt people. By the way, I don't know what Andrew's deal is. He doesn't want to talk, which, okay, fair enough, maybe he's not ready. But he doesn't seem that interested in Molly on a level deeper than friendship. Why is she setting the bar so low for him when she knows what she wants and she deserves more? I mean, she's also kind of grappling with this herself. She's developing feelings, and I don't trust him not to hurt her. He also gets really upset that Molly needs to work so much, and I didn't like that at the end of the episode she told him that he was going to be her main priority, because I'm not sure that she is to him. Well, at least not from what I can tell. I also in general just reject this idea that your partner should be your main priority in life. You should be your own main priority. But that's neither here nor there. So Issa calls Nathan. Neither of them can sleep. She tells him about her falling out with Molly and about the party. I'm not sure about how I feel about him being back on the scene. I know he has the voice, the eyes, and, well, everything. But I don't know. Condola tells Issa that she and Lawrence broke up. She kind of left Issa on the lurch with the last minute planning, but the block party is looking good. I'm happy for Issa because she worked really hard on this and she's good at it. And I really want to be at this party. And then kind of a plot twist happens. I'm like, okay, Andrew, I see you. He's suddenly being all supportive and present. And I'm like, wait, he was capable of being this guy all along. He also refers to Molly as his girlfriend, so I guess they're official now. I'm hoping for the best. It's a really quick turnaround, but I really liked Andrew in this episode. Nathan comes by to offer his support and congratulate Issa. At one point, everyone is dancing and Issa gets to join in on the fun, and she and Molly have such a good time. Oh, I loved this scene so much and it gave me such FOMO. Towards the end of the party, they have a big fight, and it's bad. Molly finds out that Issa asked Nathan to ask Andrew to help her with her headlining act. She felt like Issa was going behind her back, which, come on Molly, that's a reach. Also, I'm a bit worried about Tiffany. I hope that she's just experiencing new mother tiredness and she just needs a break and she's not struggling with postpartum or anything serious. So it's the next day and everyone's talking about how great the block party was. Issa's still feeling bad about Molly though. Her mirror self tells her not to reach out because she's always the one who's reaching out. She calls Nathan and tells him she hopes he knows that she wasn't using him. Molly had mentioned that in their fight, so Issa seemed worried about it. They're cool though. She ends up making friends with a group of girls who end up ditching her and leaving her with the bill. At the end of the episode, she's about to go into a shop or a restaurant, and Molly is in there, and she considers going in, but at the last minute decides against it. In episode 7, we see that Molly saw that Issa ran away from her. Molly and Andrew are planning a trip to Mexico together. Molly has to go in for a last minute meeting, and she almost misses the flight, but she makes it. So they're meeting Andrew's brother and his wife. Why am I vaguely worried about this trip? They seem to be in a good place, but I don't know. Molly's energy always kind of stresses me out. It looks like I'm worrying about nothing because they have fun, go on hikes, zip lining, dancing, having a bunch of sex. It's actually so good it's kind of boring, mostly because this couple doesn't really talk. I don't know. Even though things are going well, I'm not quite feeling it. Just as I was hoping for some drama, we get some. One of the hotel staff doesn't want to give Molly a towel without seeing her key card. It appears as though she gave a towel to a white couple though, who didn't show their key card, and it looks like it is a microaggression, which upsets Molly. Andrew's brother is a little dismissive of it, saying, oh well, he gets racially profiled all the time, but he chooses how to respond, and it turns into a whole argument in the pool. I knew that there wouldn't be a holiday without some Molly drama, even though this wasn't really her fault. Anyway, they meet Lawrence on the way back to the States. He's on his way out of the airport and he calls someone and asks to get a drink together. This episode felt kind of filler, to be honest. I'm not sure we needed a whole episode dedicated to Molly's trip, but I'm pretty much sold on Andrew now. I just don't think the two of them really make a good match. In the next episode, we see that it's Issa Lawrence wanted to meet up with. They go on a date and he tells her that he was in San Francisco interviewing for a new job. Ugh, it's so good with them. Lawrence then tells her that he wonders what would have happened had he not broken up with her. They talk about Issa cheating with Daniel and Lawrence's own issues at the time. I liked this. It was really nice to see exes talk in this kind of honest way, and Lawrence also owned up to his own part in that struggle period of their relationship. Just then, Condola texts him wanting to talk. I was grinning throughout this whole episode. They're laughing a lot and I really enjoy their conversations and their jokes. She goes over to Lawrence's place that evening and says she's not ready for the night to end yet, and she stays. Oh my goodness, yes. Molly is in therapy, which good for her. She needs someone to talk to. Issa is going to help Nathan move house. She feels conflicted though because Nathan is her ex after all, and I'm not sure they're all the way done. She tells Lawrence about him though and assures him that they're just friends. Molly is avoiding Andrew's brother because of that incident in the pool in Mexico, and this upsets Andrew now, who can't hang out with both of them together. I abhor any kind of double date situation, so I half don't blame her, but Andrew is close with his brother, so this is going to cause problems. Issa leaves a message for Molly asking her if they can talk. They go out to brunch, but they don't really talk about their issues. Molly says it felt superficial, and I agree, but it's a start. Okay, so Issa goes over to help Nathan unpack, and there are vibes on his side, and Issa tells him that she's back together with Lawrence. Nathan tells Issa that he disappeared because he found out that he was bipolar, and they talk about that for a bit. And they make up, so they're friends, even though he's still kind of salty about the Lawrence thing. Eventually, after Issa says that she wants to make things work, Molly says that maybe who they are now just don't fit anymore. I mean, I get it, friendship shouldn't be this much work, and maybe they do need a timeout, but I feel like they're cheating themselves because they haven't properly spoken. In the final episode, Lawrence gets the job in San Francisco. Issa tells him that it's not a deal breaker. They agree to find a way to make it work. By the way, San Francisco is a 45-minute flight from LA. Issa meets with Nathan and he apologizes about being weird about her being back together with Lawrence. Andrew and Molly are having a fight. Tiffany goes missing. She said she needed some time out. She went to a hotel and she hasn't been picking up her phone ever since, so they all go looking for Tiffany and they find her at a hotel. She says that she didn't know what else to do. So yeah, she seems to be going through some kind of postpartum depression probably. Andrew and Molly have a talk and he says that he's not sure if it's working. Molly really wants to make it work. She says that they can go to couples therapy if necessary, which... is it normal for a relationship that's about 3 months in? No judgment though. Oh no, then Lawrence comes over and tells Issa that Condola is pregnant. Condola told Lawrence that he could be as involved as he wants, but she doesn't need anything from him. This timing is just, I can't. Issa's understandably shocked, and her first instinct is, nope, this is too much. Lawrence says he wants to be with her. Ugh, I'm with Issa on this. Kids are an absolute deal breaker. I really want to make an exception for Lawrence here, but I don't know. I am here for the mess and the drama of them figuring this out in season 5 though. Anyway, at the end of the episode, Molly and Issa finally meet up for dinner, and that is the end of season 4, and also the end of this video. Thank you for watching.